Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And Garg sir, thank you so much for such an inspiring speech. I think some of the examples that you spoke about uh, are real examples of how technology can play a very, very big role in driving citizen scale impact. And I think when we really look at India, we are at an unstoppable momentum right now, and that's what I thought I'll bring it up. This is something that I picked up. This cartoon actually appeared on 15th of August in the Times of India, and I just couldn't resist using it because it just amplifies the journey that we have had over so many years that has got us into a state where very clearly our destiny is moving us to becoming the third largest economy by the end of the decade, hopefully. Right, and I think it's tremendous progress for a country, and hopefully by the time we turn 100, and many of us will be there to witness it, we'll probably get to number two, right? But the most important takeaway in this entire thing is the fact that at the end of the day, it's about how we are embracing technology at a citizen level to drive this tectonic shift that is happening towards our economy, right? So if we really step back and look at some of the things that have played a very, very big role, I think a lot of kudos goes to the work that every Indian has done over the last so many years to really drive this type of a growth. And what separates India from the others is, I believe, the population. Our population at one point in time was actually spoken of as being our biggest roadblock to growth. Today, that population is actually the reason for our growth. And that is happening because our economy is an economy which is a consumption-led economy, meaning this entire population is actually going to consume a lot of things that are available in India. We are not fundamentally an export economy, we are a consumption-led economy. The other thing is that this population, a big part of that population is a youth population, well-educated, have the right skills of employability, and also have a spending power. So that sort of makes India such a big destination. That's why you see so much of focus and attention on where India is, for the progress it has made, and the future that lies ahead for India. At 7% growth, we probably are the only economy in the world to be growing at that rate. We sometimes complain that 7% is not good enough. Absolutely. We must be hungry for more. But even at 7%, I think we'll get to the third biggest by the end of this decade. The second thing that has played a very, very big role is the penetration of mobile phones in the country. I think that has played a very, very important role in the way in which people have become very, very used to accessing things on a mobile phone. And what has supplemented that is the fact that we have low-cost broadband available at almost every part of the country. These are very, very good digital infrastructure that actually enable citizens to actually access government services wherever they are, right? And then that's possibly the role that the government entities have in making sure that consumers and citizens, they are able to access services through the device that they're most comfortable with, in a language they are most comfortable with, and hence making sure that we're removing all those blockers that otherwise come in the way and make it completely digital to make it an absolutely seamless experience. So that's the other thing that has literally sort of led to this massive shift that we are seeing at an overall level. Now, though the examples that Sir spoke about and what we are seeing are good examples, but I just want to sort of talk about, for a moment, just imagine a future in which this entire population that we have in the country can leverage all the government services that are available online. Just that's a sheer possibility of making that happen would basically mean that citizens actually have 24/7 availability of any of the government services through any medium that they feel comfortable. It could be mobile, it could be the website, it could be even a chatbot that they are most comfortable with in their own language, right? It could also mean that they also get to have a sense of the progress that is made on an application that they have made. They don't have to go and follow up anywhere. They get to know the progress that's made, and there is a notification available. The example that you spoke about, driving license, is a classic example of that, right? It just takes away the pain, the drudgery of going to that place and getting a license done, even for somebody like with a just a learning license. And we know it's not the pace is not restricted by the intent. It is just restricted by the sheer scale of people who turn up and the number of people who are there to just process and the amount of coordination that it takes between the different documents that they send. So if you have a seamless workflow that enables the information to be shared and moved across the various departments that are responsible for providing it, and a notification is being spent to the person, you can just remove that crowd fall that comes to these places and make it much more efficient for the people who are delivering service and the people who are getting that service. That's a possibility that exists with technology. The third is about the fact that at the end of the day, it has to actually result in something which will significantly bring down your overall cost of providing that service. Digital technologies enable you to do it at scale, because fundamentally, digital technology is about removing the barriers that exist in a workflow and making it easy for people to access it at the other end in a very secure way, so that the data belongs to the government. And that's the promise that we as Microsoft make to government when we work with them. The data belongs to you. We have nothing to do with your data. We are not a commercial company which has anything to do with your data, unlike many of the others who exist in the industry. And the fact is that you know who's the person who's actually accessing the service. That's the level to which the workflow actually gets automated. Now, when you add AI to it, it can solve problems that otherwise could have never been solved before. And so thank you for bringing up the traffic problem. We'd love to hack it and brainstorm with you on how we can really bring about a significant change in terms of that. We have done some of these projects globally. Would love to engage with the right people on that. So this entire thing that I spoke about is not something which is fiction. This is all possible now. And for us at Microsoft, we've been fortunate to have worked with many of the government entities to really bring about this citizen scale impact that I just spoke about. I'm just going to speak about a few examples just to highlight how a small idea can be taken and scaled across the entire country to benefit citizens at scale. One of the things is eSanjeevani. eSanjeevani is a platform that we have created, which is the world's largest telemedicine project. It has covered about 160 million people till date. It fundamentally makes primary healthcare available across the length and breadth of the country, irrespective of the availability of doctors. Our biggest challenge is not just about the fact that we are not able to reach these places, but even after you reach the places, you don't get quality people available in those places. And what eSanjeevani has been able to do is to really cut that barrier by leveraging technology, the digital technology, and this entire thing runs on our Azure Microsoft Cloud. We have made it possible for experts to be available at a remote end and do the right diagnosis at a primary healthcare level for the citizens in the country. And this entire service has touched multiple facets of the population across the length and breadth of India. So that's the type of impact that we've been able to create with just one platform that has been created. The next one that I do want to talk about is a project that we have done along with NIC, which is eShram. This is about, first and foremost, the whole idea started with creating a national database of unorganized workers. This idea came to the entire fruitification during COVID, when most of these workers suddenly had to migrate back to their hometowns. And suddenly you had a big mismatch between demand and supply. The second was even having identity of these people, so that any of the government schemes that are applicable to them can be reached across to them. So that's how this whole thing was born. This is now moved to deliver scale much beyond its original purpose. So we've got about close to 30 crore of unorganized workers connected. Their identity is very clearly established, their mobile numbers known, their address known. All this is confidential private data that is available with the government. And the qualification that they bring to the table, the skills that they have. The whole idea is to then have a universal account number, which is the 12-digit universal account number that all of us are familiar with, when we work for organization, which is, attributed to our PF. A number like that is available for every unskilled worker, right? And we are getting that entire access for both the construction and the non-construction workers. That data is now available across all the states. So think about an opportunity where any entity needs unskilled workers on an immediate basis. This entire information gets flashed to the people who have those right skills, and they can be just employed. And this entire thing is not just restricted to government alone. If you really look at some of the statistics that we have, the biggest opportunity for gig workers, as we call them, is in some of the large companies that do projects, constructions in all parts of the country. At any point in time, they have a requirement for at least 50,000 to 100,000 to 200,000 such people Some could be welders, some could be just contractors, some could be people who are good in, just, concrete. So these are different skill sets that are required. They are available. All it does is to match the job requirement to the talent that is available and bring the whole thing together. And through this mechanism, we are also removing the tools in between by making sure that the two get connected, and all the welfare schemes that are otherwise applicable to the construction workers, which never reach them if they go through this agent, are now available to them directly. And you could now extend this for many of the other facilities like medical insurance or healthcare, because all these schemes are applicable to these people, right? So having that database and having a continuous data monitoring of this is actually helping us address a very, very big opportunity, not only for employment, but also for a social cause. The third one I want to talk about is pertaining to education. If you really ask me, one of the big reasons why our economy is in a shape that it is, it's got to do with education, which has been the bedrock of India. The focus that we've had on education, both at a government level as well as at a private level, and the youth that we have in the country, and the skill set that are available to them. We are taking this to a next level. We are partnering with AICTE, All India Center for Technical Education. They have done phenomenal work of taking all the engineering curriculum and the medical curriculum, converting that into vernacular languages. Because for a long point in time, English used to be the only medium beyond 12th, right? This entire thing is now being broken. All these books are now available in a vernacular language of your choice, so that language does not become the reason for you not to progress. Language should become the reason why you should progress. That's the way we are looking at it. So we are working with AICTE on a larger initiative where we bring all the curriculum that we have for Microsoft. We are integrating that entire thing of our entire cloud technology, all the certifications, we are integrating it back to AICTE so that this becomes a part of the curriculum for engineering itself. We have done the same thing for CBSE board, where students right from 5th standard going up to 12th can get access to computer education and different schemes that are being run. And we are now toying with the idea of even looking at running contests for kids who actually show early inclination towards technology by running contests, giving them rewards, and also connecting them with summer internship right at school level so that they get to understand how this whole thing plays at an industry level, right? For AICTE, we are beyond just the curriculum. We are working with them on future-ready talent. Future-ready talent essentially means that they have the skill set, they do the certifications even before they pass out of college, so that when they come to the industry, they have the necessary skill sets and the certifications that are required to make them productive on day one, instead of the 1.5 years that otherwise most of the IT companies spend after hiring an engineer from college. So that's the bridge that we are doing it. And the last one, which we started this as a pilot. It's been very, very rewarding experience for us. This is about a year old now, which was called as Tech Bridge. This is a project that is basically aimed at tier 2, tier 3 engineering colleges across the country who do not get the access for campus hiring from the best of companies. So we said, hey, listen, we will go and we will provide a level of knowledge, run that into certification, and also connect the right set of people who will be willing to employ them. Microsoft runs the largest partner network in the country. In my past role, I used to run that business. We have about 20,000 partners in India with whom we do business. And all these partners need good talent that will serve them for their India market as well as the global market. They are always on the lookout for talent. So we work with partners. We divided these partners across the different regions of the country and got them as a part of this initiative so that the engineering colleges, the students who come, join the hack, go to the next step of doing the certification. After doing the certification, these partners would give them an opportunity to do a small internship. And based on how they perform, they actually get employment. And we've been able to get at least 40 in just 1 year of job offers getting done across these remote things. Our initiative, what started off as a pilot, now it's going to get scaled. Our idea is that every college in the country should get covered, not just an engineering college. Every college that can basically impart the knowledge that are required for basic computer skills should have a connect back with the industry so that you are connecting education with employment, because that's the way you can drive the large growth in the country. So these are some of the examples of what we are doing. My colleagues who will join me later will talk through some of the areas where we are bringing in significant momentum through artificial intelligence. That's the talk of the town today. So I'm going to reserve that part, for my fellow colleague who will join us and talk about some of the right use cases where artificial intelligence can bring about a sea change in the way in which we deliver citizen scale impact. Thank you so much for listening to me.